You are listening to Alchemizing Judgment, a guide back to love. Written by Abigail Gazda. Narrated by Abigail Gazda. Chapter 7. Intolerance. Once you become aware of and take responsibility for your impact in the world, you will go through a phase in which you are highly sensitive to and intolerant of low vibrations and their subsequent manifestations. Similar to when people suddenly see the mess around them and start the integrity rampage, individuals in this phase will also have a heightened awareness of and reaction to people, places, and things that are out of alignment with their new value systems. As you begin to expect more of yourself, you naturally begin to see and expect more from others as well. Ideas, feelings, and concepts that never seemed apparent before become glaringly obvious. It can be as simple as the noises and mannerisms of others that you've never noticed, to the fact that you can now tell people are lying. Your shifts in awareness will cause shifts in tolerance. You may feel a natural resistance to this at first, but it is something you must also accept. Your preferences will change. A Friday night at a bar might not be so appealing anymore. Men who treat women less than respectfully will become obvious and unattractive. People who gossip and complain will become exceptionally screechy to your ears. Being late on a payment is no longer acceptable. Saying yes to everything that everyone expects of you now feels empty and hollow. Very specifically, the general language of others will be abrasive to your being. Their shit-talking, doubting, naysaying, ho-humming, paraphrasing, regurgitating, and more will all become cringeworthy because of everything you are unconditioning yourself from. I just want you to know how natural this is, and not to become discouraged or worried. This phase of the experience can sometimes be isolating. You may fear that you are losing touch with or growing apart from some individuals, and that may be the case. What I want to give you hope about is the fact that this will lead to new conversations with new people in your new language. When you stay focused on the new instead of the old, the transition becomes much smoother and, dare I say, even enjoyable. Intolerance occurs because you have taken responsibility for your subconscious behaviors and you are hyper aware of your energy and the energy of the things around you. It is important to note there is nothing wrong here. I repeat, there is nothing wrong. This is simply a transition phase, and I suggest you get pretty used to this feeling because it will occur for some time. I will teach you how to transmute your newfound repulsion so as not to simply slip into a new brand of judgment. I am not helping you raise your vibration as to consider yourself above or better than others, although it may feel like that at first. Once you pop your head up above water, away from the lower vibrations, you will naturally start to judge others, and even yourself, for having existed on that plane. Remember, there is nothing wrong, and it is just a phase. This is a phase I like to call an awareness hangover. When your focus shifts and all of a sudden you can see all of the gunk gathering in the corners of your life, you will naturally question how you've never seen it all before. You will doubt your sense of discernment. You may feel some initial feelings of resentment that no one has pointed this out or taught you before, but I want to teach you a valuable lesson right now. Nobody is responsible for you. That's right, my friend. It's crazy. I know. But nobody is responsible for saving you from yourself. That is your job. You can ask your higher power to help you, but no human can truly do the inner work for you that makes the change happen. That's all on you. The good news is, in today's day and age, you have endless resources to assist you in doing this work. I wrote this book to help you do exactly that. So before you get too bent out of shape and go on a blaming rampage, breathe. This is a relief. The lesson behind no one being responsible for you is your life is yours. That's right, my friend. And what a relief. You can shift, change, transform, and follow your own inner authority all the way down the path of enlightenment. You, like everyone else, may have people you naturally take into account when making major life decisions, and that is a bit different. That is all fine, but you must ultimately remember that it is your soul, S-O-L-E, and soul, S-O-U-L, responsibility to live a great life. That will always be an inside job. We all awaken on our own time, so practice dropping judgment quickly and frequently if you feel late to the show or pissed that no one invited you sooner. It is all happening in divine time. I will not dive too deeply into your role to lead others to a higher vibration, at least in this chapter. However, I will drop a breadcrumb about the fact that when you transcend lower vibrations, you will shine brighter. Some will react like a vampire to sunlight, and others will gravitate like a bug to a lamp. Later in this book, I will teach you how to use your powers for the good of all, always. For now, let's keep focusing on you. Everything you are suddenly noticing in your life existed before your mental shift. These things weren't obvious because they all existed in harmony with a different vibration. They existed at the lower vibration that you were vibrating at. I remember my cousin once telling me a story about getting her son glasses at the age of 4. She said she and her husband had no idea he was born with poor vision, and she remembers crying tears of joy on the car ride home the day he got his glasses. My baby cousin was staring out of the window, amazed by the brand new way the world appeared to him. "Mom, the leaves on the trees. That's what trees look like?" he proclaimed with newfound wonder. When you raise your vibe, you raise your clarity. Your vision suddenly shifts like putting on a brand new pair of glasses, and you can see a whole new world. This is a subconscious shift, and the projection of your mind brings a new reality into focus. As a result, you also naturally raise your standard for living. You are able to see options and choose a higher standard of living. When this first occurs, you will find yourself exceptionally sensitive to all of these awarenesses. People you have known your whole life will both literally and figuratively look different. Your workplace can become more or less inspiring. Family and friend gatherings will feel different. Similar to too much light burning when the doctor dilates your eyes, when you dilate your mind and heart, too much negativity can feel abrasive. You can also start to feel confused, disappointed, and out of place. This is an example of vulnerability. You are essentially raw to this new way of being and thinking. I want to remind you, there is nothing wrong here. Kind of like a brand new baby, it cannot protect, feed, or care for itself. You want to nurture the new baby and surround it with good energy and plenty of love. When you suddenly recognize that you have been an ungrateful ass for most of your life and decide to give all that up, you are essentially being born again. You are choosing a new life. Therefore, you are in your infancy of integrity. If you realize that you have been in protective mode your entire life and finally decide to put your fists down, you will feel incredibly vulnerable. To choose to stop fighting and walk with your hands by your sides, all you will be able to think about for the first while is that your neck, chest, and stomach are exposed. It may have you on high alert for a while, and that is okay too. There is nothing wrong. You are simply learning a new way of thinking and being, and in this case, trusting. Think about it. You have years, likely decades of old patterns, and when you uncover certain things in transformation, it is often in a once and for all kind of way. There will be so many things that you cannot unsee or unhear. Your newfound commitment to integrity will make your self-sabotaging choices too obvious to tolerate from yourself and others. Once you realize that you date unavailable men to avoid the sting of rejection, there really is no going back. Once you understand that you eat to avoid feeling, that pastry looks like a pile of bugs. Once you value your body and life, a cigarette can be seen for the cancer stick that it is. When you realize that you use sex to feel loved, it will lose its flair. Again, nothing is wrong here. It may seem like I am out to ruin all of your fun, but I am here to provide you hope as well. When you raise your vibration, you will simply subscribe to a different brand of fun. It will be a more wholesome and fulfilling flavor of fun and will have more positive impact. Double wins. I will bring hope to the plate about your newfound fun in later chapters. For now, let's figure out what you can do about this new intolerance for low vibe shit. Remember to give yourself some grace. This transition can take time and practice, and I am going to teach you a few tools to empower the shift. Even if you know better and don't act better, you will know you are choosing not to do better. This will naturally be out of integrity, and you will become intolerant of being out of integrity over time. Let's start with one of my favorite parts of integrity: setting up and maintaining boundaries, standards, expectations, and conditions of satisfaction. Yippee! I am seriously excited to teach you all about these because it is such a good opportunity for you to take your power and life back, and I love nothing more than seeing you do that. We are getting to the good stuff, people. When we are operating at a low frequency, the barrier to entry in our life is low as well. We let people walk all over us, mistreat and disrespect us, and their energy can impact us greatly. Surprisingly, when we operate at this level, we think we have boundaries, but they are really barriers. This is an example of energetically walking through life with your fists up, ready to fight any MFer that crosses you. You know these people in the world. You might even be one of them. One of those, I freaking dare you sons of bitches, kind of fighters in life, just looking for a fight. This is a survival mechanism of misdirected aggression from unhealed mommy, daddy, and sibling wounds. Don't be one of those people in the world. Go back through these last few chapters and heal your stuff. The boundaries I am referring to now are the ones that establish for others what you will and won't tolerate in your life. This is where you stop giving your power and authority away. Another great book that I recommend for this transition phase is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It will help you understand more about impeccable integrity and 4 agreements to live by that will empower your decision to live in alignment with your highest good. You teach people how to treat you. When you wake up to integrity and higher vibrations, you must also establish new standards and expectations for yourself, others, and life itself. This takes practice, so don't lose hope just because you start seeing yourself different and others start questioning why you don't want a third beer. When you know you don't want to do old things and be the old you, you must first grant yourself permission to change before others can see and accept the new you. I remember this vividly after I began my sobriety journey. Going back home was a challenge for me because I was quite the life of the party in my younger years. During transformation, I actually recognized this part of me as a jester, and I didn't want to do the song and dance anymore. I felt the peer pressure sometimes, but I knew that the pressure to perform was nowhere near the integrity hangover of knowing better and not doing better. When I would compromise, I always regretted it. After a few times of not honoring my word to myself, I knew I was going to stop negotiating my own standards in life. Speaking of standards, it's time to set some. All of the lessons in this chapter are an invitation to start taking inventory of your life. What no longer suits me? What have I outgrown? What am I outgrowing? Who am I without all those old habits, patterns, and ways of being? What do I want? How do I want life to go? What are my preferences? What are my priorities? What is important to me? Who do I really want to be in this world? What is my definition of success? What would I want someone to say about me at my funeral? What would I fear they have to say? What legacy do I want to leave? I could keep this list of questions going on for days in the realm of integrity because this is where you are establishing your new standard of living. In fact, I work with my clients on exactly this work in my Time to Shine program available on abigailgazda.com. I encourage you to get yourself a notebook and put these questions on the first page, and once a month or once a quarter, come back to them. This is never a once and for all, made it to the point I can finally relax kind of deal. If you are committed to being an alchemist, you will constantly shapeshift into the next evolved version of yourself. You will often hear me refer to being your highest and best, and I want you to remember that this isn't a destination. If you are always allowing yourself to evolve, you are always your highest and best because you are always a collection of everything you have learned, and you are also applying it intentionally. This is always the best you can do, and you will always do better when you know better. Plants grow from the inside out, and so do humans. Keep allowing yourself to bud and blossom as you discover new parts of yourself along the way. And as you do, you will require new conditions of satisfaction, or COS. COS looks like the standards and expectations you have for life. If you are operating from old wounds, a common expectation is bad things happen to good people. This is a really disempowering belief to project because you will manifest it everywhere. When you heal old wounds, you can start allowing your beliefs to fuel a great life. This is when people start resonating with mantras such as, "It feels good to feel good," and "I deserve to feel good." When you allow yourself to believe that life and people are good, you are not constantly protecting yourself from threats and disappointment. Having COS is like putting an order in with God. It can be seen as a form of prayer in a sense. Now, this can be tricky because people confuse prayers to God with letters to Santa. They are not the same. Establishing conditions of satisfaction for your life looks more like asking for health, wealth, and guidance. This is specific to you living at your highest and best for the good of all, not the good of your ego. That is why when I ask my clients who they are and what they want, we have to filter through what they don't want and what they think they want based on their life experience. Prayers, requests, boundaries, standards, expectations, and conditions of satisfaction are all in alignment with your commitment to being the leader that you are in this world. This is about you becoming intolerant of anything less than your best and a willingness to release anything that no longer serves you. This will take earthly and divine support if you are deeply committed to winning the game of life. And if you have made it this far in this book, I have a whole lot of faith that you are. Setting yourself up for new life can feel daunting, and I want you to know that it can be. I will not sell it like an infomercial. It will not always be easy to tell someone no or to have a tough conversation. It will give you the sweats to establish boundaries with people, and you will get pushback. It will be gag-worthy to tell a friend they are bringing you down with their negativity, and I want to tell you it's okay. There is nothing wrong here. This is growth, and it is natural. It won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. I highly recommend journaling during your transformation, and for guidance on how to journal effectively, check out my Hearts Unleashed podcast, episode 78, 281, and if you head to heartsunleashed.com on the podcast tab, you can search by title and find a whole slew of journaling episodes. This will help you understand some key steps to moving through your thoughts and making choices that you are proud of. Staying committed to that will create a life you are satisfied with and fulfilled by. Your life is yours, my dear. You choose how it goes. You choose what you engage in. You choose who you interact with, and you choose your impact. Get clear on the life you want to lead so you can get in integrity with it, and you will be living a life you absolutely love. Thank you for listening to this reading of Alchemizing Judgment. If you enjoyed this reading, please like this video and comment a review below. I also invite you to subscribe to my channel, Abigail Rose Gazda. To read and listen to more of my books, visit abigailgazda.com/books. Thanks for tuning in.